say I think Napoli will win the Italian Serie A. It's quite clear. Opportunity in Inter Milan yana enra say osanka league no. Komutimi be Daniel Mohobeji league no. And a pound. They lost the league. It is quite surprising as to how Inter Milan are conceding a lot of goals in the last games. Fancy, it's so unlikely of this particular Inter Milan team. But I think one of the major problems we face Pavard enye o player ono o pace bibribe but ebabo mu nyansa ni intelligence he's up there. Achebi adi enough experience. Bastoni adi enough aggression. So the correct balance at the back line. Now yabe two and I say injuries ama Pavard efimu konchen. Untimi more Stefan Vraj at that particular position because ono untimi more said the Benjamin Pavard bebo. Naturally, Ankasa also Benjamin Pavard said to be as a right back. It will both fit that particular role now and anything. So bet me Abonwa cover the spaces now wing back in the bed Edbeko. Now all the young basic the bar basic ni good, but I think say unlucky intelligence at some moment in the game. Ama on lose focus easily. I'm not saying he's a bad player. Me say me show FIFA 25 na me su young basic abe bread time. No but about focus, you both say defend the blue on ma. He's so good. Obetimi good games almost within a trickle of now it was a why mistake back could be pa. It be a basic. But you can't blame basic and Kwan for Inter Milan's woes when it comes to conceding. I think one of their biggest problem here is omo panicking and saying because game no abra na 1-1 no omutimi kwa no moja almost be two defenders spend away chiro ni atiaso omachi na ball ne da ho. So defending as a unit has become a problem for them, especially pressing from the forefront and even intensifying your effort in the middle of the park. So the ball betimi press here age ball no, I don't think they are doing that. Off the ball me sure so my break. Fancy, you can't take this into the final against Paris Saint-Germain. First, it's difficult for teams to even create a lot of chances against Inter Milan. But now, consistently in the last few games, teams create chances. And you're going to play a Champions League final against one of Europe's top front three. Kivicha Kwaskele Desire Doué. Osman Dembele mo untimi nkoye such petty mistakes. They will need to be very careful going into that particular game. But Antonio Conte and the Napoli against Parma, I always use that game with the bet my end in the draw. But the league in a difficult my internet so more far away to Como match and there I want to show you say Inter bet Marco Como. Because Como form no the ball league ni Como baby omujina say no. Big teams no ma calling in abre. You won't take it lightly. It's an Inter Milan best score away no crack draw. But at home, I think Napoli were the missiles. Say obetimi they are charging against Cagliari. Obetimi ashe Cagliari no the AG League, you know. And more or less, you know, Inter Milan will have much more concern about the Champions League final so also Mokobo. But I'm sure say Simone Inzaghi team no say the city no. I think mentally nyoma brabem physically nankasa so breso abem they will need some rest in nyoma kakrebi but come home squad ne so a come proper balance and compete me about two competitions the season no but unfortunately entimi amfasa de na famba. I think Claudio Ranieri Dina or Tro AS Roma will be remembered for a long period of time. Fancy Oman qualify for Champions League and qualify for you cry maybe no more that will push on them about 2 pepe so Madrid
just one defeat.
And fancy they are so good to a certain extent. Say breaking them down is difficult. Almost lose game by 3-0. 2-0.
Losing.
And 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1.
They don't lose by 2 goals margin. And BBH say, I did the Leicester City baby and by fluke. Whatever he did with the Leicester City team, no, by fluke. Or set team up so well to get results, and he won the league in the Premier League. Because how did now way Romano and by the beginning of the season, I check points per game fancy me rest assured say kebi anka Roma ke come on be compete for the league title akomo be ho because results na onye nyade kono a title winning resource wabefa Pellegrini. Most of these guys are not being able performances. Now he has gotten them the results and they are fighting for it. AC Milan on more level and more than. That is the reality of the situation they find themselves in. Fancy, Wontumi Pamo coaches during the season and expected different results. No, Wontumi Sake different coaches, and I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic as a player, fine player. Mike Akasa says Zlatan Ibrahimovic as a player solid, but as a management member and also managing club, Nankasa at that top level. No, Eduma Bebre also to me because there were certain decisions he took. Be out and I wonder say they and a bars Zlatan Ibrahimovic team because AC Milan team a very talented crop of players. Ultimately, can't say Pavlovic a bad player. Wontumi can't say Tijani Renders a bad player. Lucy Fofana also a bad player. You know her French Liga last season with AS Monaco. Solid before they were starting for the French national team. Beboa, you have national team status in your team. I saw Mono Manchester and you said you almost shed them. Na Pope no new Pope now abandoned and they say go mumi new team so. Because there are certain decisions on take here. But not playing in the Champions League, I think it's really going to affect their finances. This is why Manchester City wants to press hard and get Tijani Renders. Because competitive players need to be born also. Don't call me that so Adoma. And some of the players no more AC Milan no will need the Champions League to move beyond. Be to say Rafael Leao, Theo Hernandez. But Theo Hernandez to Real Madrid, the is difficult because Real Madrid in penal. It's a team bell about Theo Hernandez. But for Rafael Leao, for players with Tijani Renders, most of these guys, people will go in and get them to come to their clubs because the Champions League opportunity, is so big. But that is the reality of where they find themselves at the end of the season. To the Premier League, remember I asked the end so, but to the Premier League, fancy, I think say 2 games NBA decisive. Chelsea in Nottingham Forest and Manchester City in Bournemouth. And then Manchester City in Fulham. Between 3rd and 7th here, 1 point. City will game Bournemouth against Bournemouth.
Yeah, a outstanding game.
If City should win the Bournemouth game, on 68 points. Meaning say omuni be push aba beto so 3rd. No more pure mama carry na the ide. Ediaba. Now if Nottingham Forest should even win, go asem. If Chelsea should even win because who not 68 points you only need 1 point. Especially so proper goal difference. You only need 1 point to qualify. It's in America say City the anybody decided that Bournemouth game no. Then the rest to be decided. Chelsea in Nottingham Forest game no. The in America say whatever that will happen at the Europa League final, forget about Manchester United winning against Aston Villa.
Because someone the energy in your ball.
Say Oji Europa League na. I no Obroboy players na to twa omaye bia no de abebo sa game no omo lususu amora ne be dey because a embarrassing season and disappointing season ebe break team no cry ebe break team no so Aston Villa have opportunities omo do Manchester United Old Trafford Newcastle bebo Everton ofie I've told you the Newcastle ofie this season fancy it's difficult for other teams to come and beat Newcastle at home. Pressure the best so and they need this. Baby omugina no mu hia pa because this season nankasa no mo hwe so mo antimi qualify just so mo ton makoko be de baako. But mo qualifier it gives them another amount of money and it positions them well in the transfer market. They want to keep their top striker in Isaac. So if you don't qualify for Champions League, where baby Isaac bo 1 year the echo. Now her clubs are surrounding Sandro Tonelli. Bruno Guimaraes squad there akwa kakra because City na ba ho and City side dey atomo Tuesday then Chelsea and Nottingham Forest I want to make or break ni nyina no ejina the pressure woman kasa say na no mo share na mo dia
so qualify bia o say you must win last one of game
yes ama o check the advantage na and am the probabilities na ma
na you so probabilities ni League don't qualify for Champions.
If you check the probability la, there Newcastle at home to Everton. First, you know how Newcastle plays at home. United so no matter what will happen at the Europa League, it will affect them on Sunday. It will be in same day. Or the better baby. And if City wins against Bournemouth, then 3 positions. Rest assured, the rest never pre-2 now. So you see, Farioli's story near me. How do you bottle a 9-point lead? And this is not the best PSV and the Hoving team I have seen in the Dutch league.
True.
We're not the best PSV and Hoving team.
Sir, slot to the amount. And
slot your Feyenoord.
Feyenoord as a baby. You can't say, I asked.
PSV and Hoving, one more close and near Tamana Root Van Nistelrooy.
Van Nistelrooy cracked him. That was last season.
I'm
not chef front and back.
Yes.
Peter Bosch,
but they were even top and Sana almost best sleepy. Now the whole was sleepy.
And that is the reason why I'm saying, say,
because they were not. This is the compare last season.
Oh, yeah, started PSV call a 15 games and beaten.
But drew time be at some point in time. No more consider 4, almost consider 3, and no more consider 7. 8 year Arsenal. And I'm saying, say, this is not the best PSV team because when PSV is winning the league, PSV and Boto Krama Wires no Kram that top. But I think both teams in India, this isn't a show moment of going down, which I feel say Obian capitalize on the opportunity. And I asked, and I'm here for Vegas, and you breaches on your cameraman, the crowd. Everybody say,
that's a mic.
Investment
because John K say, I just thought they were doing that.
But first, I think PSV 6+64.
I'm going to make it almost from last season
+64. But they considered no more considered PSV. They not Mr. Mike. Consider 4. I don't know why Kenya. But fancy Ochina, Yamaya don't know my Amodia. As some now bear story be some bear 4 days ago about France say person more the format no. Almost some format no. Not top 4 no the semi-final no more to see the very league no to make it competitive no. Kata for no one be bomb say.
Mate, Yamaya be doing. Okay, well, Steve.
No,